What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be talking about this guy. This is the Kubey 159-1-CF, the 159. There's a couple of different variations of this knife. This was sent to me by my good friend Bad Monkey EDC1. Shout out to you, brother. Let's get started. All right, welcome back, everybody. Okay, Kubey Knives. Kubey Knives is a brand that I am relatively new to. I was, if you have been watching my channel, I had the Wolverine. Can't remember the numbers, serial number, anything like that. But I had the Wolverine budget option from Kubey that really impressed me. It was a nice work knife, D2, G10, steel liners, kind of a beefy knife, but my size, right? And I was impressed. That knife was sent, the Wolverine was sent by the Black Widow pass-around group that I'm a part of, started by The Knife Dude. Shout out to you too, brother. This one was provided by Bad Monkey EDC, and the guy has just been awesome to me and the channel. He's been a viewer for a while. He's always commenting. He's just a really awesome guy. He sent me an epic box of knives that I'm getting to because I've got so many loaners in right now. This one really impressed me, and since I already had that other Kubey on the channel, I was like, I gotta give this guy a shot, so let's put it in pocket. So I did. This definitely has a funky-fied little blade shape, right? So as you can see, this one has the Emerson Wave feature on it, you know, and they also have another model that just has a hole deployment. So at first, when I saw that and started looking the knife up, I was like, yeah, I'd really rather have a hole deployment versus the Emerson Wave feature because I'm just not into that very much. There are some knives that I've had, that I've tried it. It works fine. Other knives I've had with like the Snaggletooth that I got from Rusty Knife Lover. And it's okay. This works. It definitely works when you pull out of your pocket to deploy it. And if you like that kind of stuff, it works really well. The shining feature on this knife, though, guys, Kubey is doing some amazing things. They are a China-made knife, but I want you to look at something. I'm first going to tell you that this knife, from what I can see online, is around 70 bucks, okay? It does have D2 steel. I think they have some with AUS 8, and they even have a more premium version with S35VN that runs about $100. This knife, 70 bucks. Take a look at that carbon fiber, guys. This carbon fiber impresses the hell out of me. There is hardly any voids that I can see in this thing. Whenever I first brought this knife out, because I carried it to work as my daily carry, my primary that day, when I carried this to work, I had quite a few coworkers because, you know, I'm the knife guy. I have something almost new every day. And they were like, oh man, I like that. How much is that? 200 bucks? You know, they saw this carbon fiber and they thought they were looking at a $150 plus knife. And it does. It looks like that with this carbon fiber. I'm really impressed with it. Not only is the carbon fiber nice, but they've really dialed in the detent. It snaps out there like really nice. It doesn't pass the Kevin detent test. By golly, it almost did there whenever you go to the break. But yeah, it can fail when you pass it. But I'm telling you, the way they've got the flipper tab, it's pretty big. But it's situated in a way that as soon as you pull it down, it fires out. So I really like that. So, I mean, they were so impressed when I handed it to one guy in particular. He actually has already purchased one. I handed it to him. He was flipping it, and he was like, dude, this thing flips awesome. I was like, I know, right? And he seriously thought it was a $150, $200 knife. I told him, I was like, nope, these things cost around 70 bucks, and he was sold. He went to go buy one right then. So he's got one of these coming. And so I was really impressed by that. Man, you've got carbon fiber. That's a titanium pocket clip. Not deep carry, but very well made. Titanium backspacer, steel liners, and D2 steel. You know, I'd rather have D2 than AUS 10. I think I've got a couple of knives in AUS 10, but I haven't really put it to the test like I have D2. I don't mind D2. The only thing I couldn't find, look at this beautiful stonewash blade, if my camera will focus. I love a good stonewash. And this knife has a wonderful stonewash on this Tanto style blade. Very, very sharp, very slicey, about 20 thousandths behind the edge. So, I mean, I was just blown away, okay? I really didn't know how much these cost, and when I looked them up, it's like, damn, that's a deal. I really think that this is a steal. Now, whether or not you like the design features or not, you know, the Emerson Wave or the hole, that's another story. But, I mean, you can get just the one with the hole, and it's not a Tanto. So they've got options out there for everybody. And usually flippers like this, I get bored of just having a flipper. If I can do a flipper, but I have a way to middle finger flick, it makes it a lot more fidgety for me, and I like to carry it more. So this one, I was like, I don't really use the Emerson Wave feature. It's just a flipper. But then I did this. It's actually in a really good spot to reverse flick it with the Emerson Wave little swoosh there. And so that turned it into a little bit more fun for me. So now you have 3 ways to deploy it. The flipper, the Emerson Wave, and then the reverse flick. If you actually had the one with the hole, it would be a flipper and just the reverse flick or thumb flick. I mean, I can do a thumb flick with this thing too. So it's actually turned out to be a pretty fun knife to carry, and I dug it. I dug it a lot. How are the ergos? Well, you've got a somewhat neutral. You get a little bit of a swoop up here, and so me and my XL style size hands, my pinky kind of goes over this and kind of lands right there. It's not real uncomfortable, but my hands are just too big to be able to get all of my fingers in here like this without going squeezy. So it's a little cramped, but it's not bad. Like if my finger goes over that point, but this point is nicely rounded, there's not really a sharp spot. So it's not bad as far as ergonomics. I wish it had a finger control. You've got this, flipper tab there where you can choke up, but nah, I'm not going to do that. So ergonomics are okay for my hand size. If you've got smaller hands, I believe it's going to be great. I don't feel the pocket clip at all. The pocket clip, I like the design. It does have that little swoopy area there, but it's pretty flat. It doesn't go past this part, so it's not really pokey. And I like that. I don't feel the pocket clip in my hand when I was using this blade. Ergonomically, the hole would probably be more comfortable because of where my thumb lands on a knife like this. So my thumb, I really want to do a saber grip. And a saber grip, as you can see, I am barely getting on that area. And then right there, the Emerson Wave feature pokes me. So in a hammer grip, it's comfortable, okay? It's not the greatest in the world, but it's comfortable. But with a saber grip in the way I hold the knife, it's not very comfortable. So the hole, the one with a hole in it, I believe would just be out of this world. I can put my thumb back here in that saber grip. I just don't usually do it. I don't usually put my thumb back here when I'm using the knife. I always put it up here. And so that Emerson Wave being there kind of takes that away. And so, yeah, that's one thing I don't like about it. I like everything about it except for that and one other thing. The lock bar, as you can see, it's got that little scallop there cut out to get the lock bar out of the way. The lockup is good. It runs on ceramic bearings. It's got a ceramic detent ball. But when I try to go and put my finger in here, the access is okay, but I'll push it, and you see that? See how it? Okay, so that time it did it. Usually what happens is I'll push the lock bar in, and it'll stop at that detent. And when that happens, it takes a lot to actually get it past that. And so I'm not sure what's up with that. I really have to, instead of just being natural and getting this thing to drop, I really have to make sure that I go all the way over. Once I go all the way over, it drops past that detent and it does okay. It's just a little bit different. Some people might not have that issue, but I found that this kind of happened more often than I'd like it to. But as far as the action, it is super smooth. With a couple of shakes, the detent, just listen to that detent, suck that thing in. Oh, I love that. I really, really do. So yeah, action is good. The centering is dead on. I really am impressed with it. Now, I've almost got to get one of the whole deployment ones in my hand to see if it can fix some of the issues that I have with this particular model. But all in all, man, I am really impressed, especially with the materials that we got. The carbon fiber is just so sexy on this guy. I mean, it looks like carbon fiber that you might get on like a Benchmade or a ZT. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and turn the camera around. We'll get a closer look at this, get some specs, and you can see why I really fell in love with this Kubey 159 in all its variations. I've got to get one. All right, so before we get a good close look at this guy, I forgot to mention this right here. You get, with this knife, a so well done, a very well done pouch with this. There is their logo. I love their logo. I love it to death. What does that say there? It says, "Do what you never did." That is so cool. I love the pouch. Very well made. Slots for 2 knives in it. So I had to throw that out there because, especially for the $70 price point, the knife in this pouch, I just think it's a freaking deal. So let's get a little bit closer to this carbon fiber. Just look at that, guys. I'm really, really impressed with the way that this knife is put together. So nice. I love the pocket clip. You got a little bit of holes there just to kind of break up the pattern. This is kind of Kubey's signature little pivot cutouts. I'm really not crazy about it. I've definitely seen prettier ones, but it's not bad. It just gives it a little bit of pop. You got your really cool back spacer that goes, what do you say, 70, 60%, something like that for the back, or to the back of the knife. Just really, really freaking impressed. And then, of course, there is your really nice stonewash, like an acid stonewash finish on this blade. There is your D2 right there. And then Kubey knives with their little logo. So yeah, really, really impressed with this thing. It looks funky. I get it, guys. It did not appeal to me right off the bat, but whenever I felt the action and started to look at this guy, it really, really started to get my juices flowing. And that's why I think I'm really going to want the 159 with the hole in it. Let's go ahead and see what we've got as far as size. So we're looking at about 8 1/4 inches overall with a 3 1/2 inch blade. So that's in my wheelhouse. I like that size. It shouldn't be too big for most people, but it's not, small. It's where I need it to be. If this didn't have the hump here, it would be ergonomically really, really fine for me, especially with the other blade shape with the hole. But because this is here, it is just a little bit of a hit for the ergonomics, even though it's really rounded off, and I was okay carrying it. I just wish that this was knocked down and not have, doesn't have this curve there. It's about 160 thousandths of a blade stock, so you've got a pretty nice stock on this guy, but it does come down to 20 thousandths behind the edge. So 20 thousandths behind the edge, this thing cut, and it cut very, very well. The Tonto blade, everything you can use your Tonto blade for, as far as really delicate tasks and getting down there and doing this. I mean, it really does good. It's got some pretty good thickness out to the tip. So durability, I believe, will be fine, especially with that D2. Your handle length is about 5 inches. And let's go ahead and get a weight, because I don't have that. Full carbon fiber on each side, but it does have steel liners and that titanium backspacer, which is pretty big. So right under 5 ounces, I think that is great, especially for an 8 1/4 inch knife. Let's go ahead and see what this knife is compared to some of the others, shall we? Let's go ahead and put it against the Spyderco PM2. PM2 and this, they're pretty close, right? So if you know what the Spyderco PM2 is like, this one is pretty close. You definitely got a thicker handle here, which I like, though, because it fills out the hand. The carry profile, you got a little bit taller of a blade on the PM2. This one does carry good. It is just a little bit thicker in your pocket, so it depends on your preferences. What about one of my other favorite budget knives? This is the CJRB Felspar. Very similar in size as well. And then the other iconic budget knife, the Ontario Rat #1. All similar in size. I'm telling you, as far as if you're wanting a budgety knife, I mean, for $70 and this beautiful carbon fiber D2 blade, and then if you want to go a little bit further, you like the design, you want S35VN, they do have them for, right at $100. So I just think it is an excellent deal. Kubey is doing some good things. I can't wait to get my hands on some other models because I'm liking what they're doing. There is a few models that have caught my eye that I might try to pick up to put on the channel because they really, I'm like, whoa, that's a Kubey? It's things like that. So there's a lot of new knife companies out there, guys, that are giving some great options for budget pieces, for pieces under $100. And you gotta give Kubey a shot. Definitely go check them out. I will have their website linked down below, but you can find some of their models on Amazon and other places around the interwebs. But guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and checking this out. Bad Monkey EDC, you are the man. You are the man for sending me this and all the other knives that you sent. I really appreciate you, brother. You are just a special place in my heart for you, man. Guys, stay safe in this freaking crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.